Alright, yesterday we read Tortillas and Lullabies, just for fun, and just to get familiar with it. Now today, we're actually going to read and analyze the story, or look over the story and try and figure out what's going on, and who the people are, and how they're interacting with each other. So, let's get started.
Let's read Tortillas and Lullabies by Lynn Reiser. Pictures by Corazones Valientes.
One. Tortillas. My great-grandmother made tortillas for my grandmother. My grandmother made tortillas for my mother.
Alright, let's stop here. Who is the great-grandmother? Point to her. You should be pointing right here to this woman with purple hair. She's the great-grandmother. She's making tortillas for the grandma. Okay? Very good. Let's continue on.
My mother made tortillas for me, and I made tortillas for my dog.
All right. Well, before we change our page here, who are the story characters? Who are the characters in this story? Well, the characters are the women in this family. This young girl, this woman, and this woman. And what clues tell you where they live? Let's just focus on the places in these two, on this page here. Where do they live? What clues help you know where they live? Well, on these two pages, the animals and plants help me know that they're on a farm. See back here we have corn, and they're actually baking in the cornfield, it looks like. Here's a horse, here's a pig. So it looks like they live on a farm. And then, what helps you know where these girls live? Well, here these are called appliances, like a stove. Here's a bed. So that helps me know that this girl lives in a house. All right, or in her bedroom. Okay. So let's keep going. Let's move on here. It told us to change the page.
Every time it was the same, but different.
And let's stop here again. So, remember how I said readers have feelings about what they read, all right? And I'm going to ask myself, do I agree with the girl? Every time was the same, but different. I'm going to agree that every time it was the same, because in each time, the older woman was making tortillas for the younger girl. I'm going to also say that they're different at the same time. I'm going to agree with her again, because the way they cooked the tortillas was different. Here, she's using a fire out in the middle of a field. Here, she's using a fire stove. Here, she's using an oven. All right. So it is the same way, and it's different. All right. They're making the same thing. They're making it in different ways. Here, she's making it in a pot. Okay. Here she's making it in a bowl pot. I'm not sure. Here it looks like she's making it on a stove top. So there's a bunch of different ways that they're making it. So it's the same thing made different ways.
Two. Flowers. My grandmother gathered flowers for my great-grandmother. My mother gathered flowers for my grandmother. I gathered flowers for my mother, and my doll gathered flowers for me.
All right, let's stop there and talk about these last couple of pages. Where did each girl gather flowers for her mother? Where did each girl gather flowers? Now let's go back here to these two pages. Where did these two girls gather their flowers? Well, looks like the grandmother gathered flowers from the forest. And mother gathered wildflowers from the yard. So here, great-grandma, grandma, she was out in the forest. Here, mom gathered flowers, wildflowers in the yard. All right, then we could move on. And here, the younger girl, she gathered flowers at a florist, and that's a person who grows flowers for a living and makes them look very pretty at weddings and stuff like that. And then the girl received paper flowers from her doll. All right, let's keep going.
Every time it was the same, but different.
Let's stop here also. I want to talk about the words. The words up here. Oh my goodness. How does each sentence begin? How does the sentence begin? How does it begin? With a capital letter, right? It's a capital E this time because the word is every. And guess what? Every sentence begins with a capital letter. If we go back here, look. Here's I gathered flowers for my mother. And that's a comma, that's not a period, so we don't have to capitalize and. Alright, we go back here. My, the M is capitalized because my is the first word in the sentence. Alright? What kind of sentence is this? This kind of sentence is a telling sentence because it ends with a period. It tells us something. All right? Good job. Let's keep going.
Three.
And let's stop here. Now, what is the next part of the story going to be about? Make a prediction. What do you think it's going to be about? Washing. Very good. It's going to be about washing. And why do you think it's going to be washing? And so you think it's going to be washing. And how do you think washing will be the same? And how do you think it will be different? Do you think that Grandma washed clothes the same way as Mom washes clothes? I don't know. We'll have to listen and find out.
Washing. My great-grandmother washed a dress for my grandmother. My grandmother washed a dress for my mother.
All right. Who are the story characters on these pages? Well, here we have great grandma. Here we have grandma. Right? Yeah, here we have great grandma. And here we have grandma. Alright? Now here, how is it the setting the same, or I'm sorry, how is the setting different in each one of these? Well, here great grandma had to wash her clothes by the stream and hung the clothes in the trees to dry. They had to hang them over the branches. And grandmother, she washed with water from a well, over here a well, and hung the clothes on a line to dry. The land is now a farm with animals. So this land here, they eventually made a well and were able to move away from using the land for their washing and use it for animals. Let's keep going.
My mother washed a dress for me, and I washed a dress for my doll. Every time it was the same, but different. Four. Lullabies. My great-grandmother sang a lullaby to my grandmother. My grandmother sang a lullaby to my mother.
Alright, let's talk about these. We're going to talk about how the words are working on these two pages. Now, when we read a sentence, we start at the left and we read to the right, right? Now, would I continue reading this sentence all the way across over here? Or do I read to the end of this here and then go down to the next line until I see a punctuation mark? Yeah, I stop and I go back to the and go back to the next line, down to the next line, and start at the beginning at the right, left and read to the right again. That's called a return sweep. All right, it just means that we go back down a line and go back to the very beginning and read from there. So I would read this. My great grandmother sang a lullaby to my grandmother. Okay. Here it's the same thing. My grandmother sang a lullaby. Return sweep to my mother. Okay? Now, here we have a capital letter at the beginning of a sentence, which is perfect because we always capitalize the first letter in a sentence. And we always end telling sentences with a period. They didn't ask a question, so we have to end it with a period so they know that we know that the author is telling us something. All right.
My mother sang a lullaby to me, and I sang a lullaby to my doll.
Do you think the little girl likes pretending she is a mother to her doll? Yeah, I think she does too. You know why I think that? I think that because she does everything that her mother does to her doll. So if her mom picked flowers for her grandma, then she picked flowers for her mom. And then the doll, she made the doll pick flowers for her, or make flowers for her. So it was something really nice. Okay? We have one last page here. Let's read it and
the same.
Right. That is our... Oh, my mouse is frozen. Well, anyway, that is our story, Tortillas and Lullabies. And this story is about a family, the women in the family, so the girls, and how they treated their moms. What did each picture in the book show? So if we go back here, what did each picture show? It showed something called a mother-daughter relationship. A relationship that a mom and a daughter have. So the daughter would do something nice for the mom, and the mom would do something nice for the daughter. And it was very, very nice. All right? Well, we've reached the end of our story, but that doesn't mean we're not done with work. So here is your assignment for today. It is practice book page 105. On this practice book page, you need to circle the picture that shows characters a story might be about. So, could a story be about a fish? Yeah, a story could be about a fish. Could a story be about a pool? Could a pool do anything in a story? No, the pool couldn't do anything in the story. So that's not going to be that. So you're going to need to circle the fish and any other things. It could be characters in a story. Then what you need to do is you need to color the pictures that show places a story might tell about. So would a story tell, would a story tell about a fish place? So if we're talking about this fish here, would a story happen at this fish? No, a story would happen about that fish. Would a story happen about the pool? Or happen at the pool, I mean. Yeah, a story could take place at the pool, so you're going to want to color the pool. And circle the fish, color in the pool. Then, what you need to do is you need to draw a line between the character and its setting. Alright? So, circle the characters, color the places, draw a line that connects the characters and places. Remember, have someone take a picture of you doing this and a picture of your completed work. Submit it as an attachment below. Alright, now, we're going to keep on moving because, you need to pause the video and complete practice book page 105. Alright, welcome back. We're going to keep moving on, and we're going to actually talk about a story called The Birthday Party. And you know what? I'm not going to read it. You're going to read it to me. Okay? It's as simple as this. Underneath of this video, this exact story is below you. And you're going to probably need some help from an adult. And you're going to have to go through, and you're going to have to tell me what is happening on each of these pages. Alright? So why don't you go ahead and pause the video and get that done. And now, welcome back again. Can't wait to listen to those. I'm sure they're going to be really, really, really good. Now, let's talk about people in a family. We've met a couple. We've met a lot of the girl side. So you could have a great-grandmother, like we read about today. You could have a grandmother, also known as granny, nana. You could have a mother, a mom or a mommy. Another person in a family would be a daughter. And Another person in the family could be a sister. Another person in your family is an aunt or an auntie. Now that's just the girls that can be in the family. Here are the boys. You could have a great-grandfather, or you do have a great-grandfather in your family. You have a grandfather, or grampy, pop, or pappy. You have a father, or papa, dad, or daddy. And another person in the family is a son. Another one is a brother. And another one is an uncle. So there are tons of people in your family. Alright? These are the most common. And let's talk about this. The great-grandmother is the grandmother's mom. Alright? And the grandmother is the mom's mom. And the mother is the daughter's mom. Alright? And it works the same way over here. The great-grandfather is the grandfather's father. The grandfather is the father's father. And the father is the son's father. I know it's kind of confusing, but when you think about it, it all works out. Alright? Good job today, guys. See you tomorrow.